Hi, I'm Catherine Ingram.
And I'm Mark Matousek.
And we'd like to welcome you to Dharma Salon, whereby Mark and I cover events, cultural events in New York City. We have just been to see Leonard Cohen at Radio City Music Hall last weekend, and it was an amazing experience.
It was. I've been hearing about him for years, and I like some of his songs, but I wasn't a real die-in-the-wool convert until the other night. He played from 8 p.m. until midnight, and at the end of this set, after 4 encores, the 78-year-old man skipped off stage. He was extraordinary, and he brought this room together. It really was a religious experience, didn't you think?
It really was, yeah. Yeah, I too had been hearing about, ever since 2008 when he started his concerts again, subsequent to having lost most of his money due to someone embezzling it. You know, he had to go back on the road, he had to work, and, you know, his loss was certainly our gain. So I've been hearing about these concerts everywhere I went, all over the world, in Australia and Ireland and everywhere, in Denmark, everywhere in the world, in America, of course, as well. And I kind of was wondering, what is this magic potion that he's putting out in that room? Because no matter how jaded or how, you know, how been around the block somebody had happened to be, or how musical they themselves were, or everyone just reverential in speaking about the experience at his concerts. And now we know.
Now you know.
Now we know.
Well, you know him personally.
Yes, yes.
So what's the difference between Leonard Cohen in front of 100,000 people and the Leonard Cohen that you go to have coffee with?
Well, there's a great coherence in, like, the vibe, you could say, like the graciousness that we saw at that concert, the sweetness, the kind of generosity, the authenticity, all of that is exactly how he is hanging out as a friend. So there was no disparity. I mean, you know, of course, while I had been in his living room a few times with people playing music and him singing or playing on that, whatever that gizmo thing is that he plays on, I hadn't actually seen him in concert before, so this was really a new thing and very impressive. My goodness. I mean, the band.
Fantastic band.
Oh my God, people from all over the world, and just you have the sense, truly world-class musicians, extraordinary backup singers, beautiful women, and he creating this intimacy, and you just felt that you were in the presence of great art that is speaking great truth. Right. And
because he lets the darkness in.
Yeah.
He's not afraid of the darkness.
No,
so he's got this lighthearted, almost frivolous side to him that's sort of raucous and a scoundrel. And he's also got this deeply contemplative side that comes from so many years of Zen practice, of being comfortable with talking about frailty and loss and death, and the dark side of human nature without being depressing.
Or maudlin, or and there's something cathartic about hearing the truth like that, and having a delivery system that is so pleasant to experience, you know, with fabulous music and fabulous poetic lyrics. And, you know, and I love his voice, even though he makes fun of it now and again when he talks about being gifted with this golden voice. But I felt that he, you know, he always has had, one of the delights in knowing him is that he can say things that, you know, by any other measure might be hard to hear, but he says them, you know, there's the power of the truth flowing through them, but also just a lightness that comes with it, a kind of willingness to look at whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a personal transparency, but for me it's also a feeling of love. You can tell that this is a man with a very, very big heart, and he's honest about the mistakes that he makes, and still he maintains, it seems to, a kind of hope that's not, as you said, maudlin or unconscious, but there's still a deeply human joy at being alive, and curiosity about love, and gameness toward the future that I find extremely inspiring, and I think that's what creates the religious experience that you're talking about. There's an elevation that happens when somebody's telling the truth.
Yeah, that's just simply it, isn't it? I mean, he is a truth teller, and he's delivering it in a very nice way. I mean, it's extremely, you know, you and I have been we're drawn to the truth like, you know, moths to fire, really. You know, we're just, you know, and usually that's the experience is you just get burned up. But in this case, it was like being in a nice ocean, you know,
absolutely,
resort.
The guy who was sitting next to you actually made the night for me during when Leonard Cohen was singing Hallelujah. I looked over and there was this boy, a young boy, singing along with him with his arms held up like this, like he was in church. And we were just transfixed by this guy. And then what did he say to you after?
So I asked him afterward, I said, where are you from and how old are you? Because he looked, I thought he was not American. And he said he was from Mexico, and he was 25 years old. And he said, and this is the most momentous night of my life. And then he added, right after that, and he said, even when I'm old and dying, this will still be the most momentous night of my life.
Oh my God,
I know.
how moving is that?
I think a lot of people have felt that.
Yeah, well, I understand why now. I'm a huge Leonard Cohen fan, and I highly encourage you to walk, jump, fly, do whatever you have to do to see this man live, because
it's a privilege.
It is a privilege.
Who knows how long we'll have him.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Good.
That's it.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.